Hey everybody, it's Jeff back with another weekly installment of the most interesting coin auctions. So not necessarily the highest price, but the ones that have the most intriguing stories behind them. So let's jump right into it. Starting with the Market Pulse. This was actually a recommendation from a viewer last week. So if you ever have recommendations of what you want to look at in terms of past performance versus current sales, let me know in the comments below. But he wanted to look at peace dollars. He mentioned that they were going up in value, and I admit I don't follow peace dollars that closely. So I wanted to be fair, and I said, okay, well, we're going to pull out some sales with a bunch of bidders so we know that it's the true value. And I wanted to only do blast white, and I wanted to combine a little bit of CAC and a little bit of non-CAC and a little bit of price range from, as you can see, as low as 750 up to $7,000. And as you can see, all but one example are up very substantially from an identical comparison a year ago. And I wanted to take an average because some had multiple sales between January and April of 2020. So I kind of took the rough average of identical comparisons. And you could see that peace dollars are just on fire, like so much in the rare coin market, with the one exception being the 1926D. Now, on one hand, you might say, well, that's just an anomaly. But I've been mentioning on these videos that coins under 5,000 are the ones doing the best, and coins over are still doing okay, but not nearly as good as the lower price coins. That's where the biggest percentage gains are in coins under 2,500. And as you can see here, that's really reflective of this breakdown of performance. So looking at the first auction, this was intriguing for a couple reasons. One, obviously, it's a top pop. It's a cameo, which is incredibly rare. As you can see, there's only 8, and it's a proof 66 red. So top pop cameo, extremely nice. Just a shade of toning on the reverse. Just a beautiful coin. A PCGS price guide value of $7,000. It's sold for more than that, $8,422, which again tells you how hot the market is. That is a strong sale. But one thing that was interesting about this coin is I wanted to go back and pull out some comparisons, and I found one that was a proof 66 red cameo with the CAC. And I looked at the picture, and when you look closely, you'll notice that the toning is identical. That was the exact same coin in a previous older holder. And what it tells you is that person must have cracked out a proof 66 red cam with the CAC and probably tried to get the true top pop. Now, as you saw in the previous slide, that it's a pop 8 with none finer. I'm sure if that person was thinking, if I can get proof 66 plus, then I'd have top pop. It'd be worth a lot. But it didn't quite work out that way. Obviously, they got it back into the identical holder, put a CAC sticker back on it. When they bought that coin, as you can see, they bought it on a single bid with a price of $9,000. And I've noticed on great collections, and really all auction sites, but mainly great collections, that there are some teasers that are, in my opinion, overpriced. And a lot of times those go without any bids and just never get sold. But occasionally they're fishing for buyers and someone will bite on it. And I'm guessing that person back in September of 2020, so not that long ago, bought that coin under the assumption they could crack it out and get a better grade, an upgrade, and it didn't quite work out for them. Now, thankfully for them, they were able to get it back into the same holder. But you think of the breakdown, they paid $9,000, grading fee of at least $65 to crack it out and then get the CAC fee as well. And the net sales they received was $74.87, not $84.22, because they had the buyer's premium. They ended up losing $1,578 on that little flip. So I thought that was interesting. Auction number 2. This is an example of buying the coin, not the holder. This coin is absolutely stunning. Anybody who follows Wheat Cents, this is well beyond a Mint State 66, and I think the market quickly realized that as bidders pushed this well past Mint State 66 price. But just to kind of gauge a comparison, if you bought a 1909 Philly, no VDB or no OS VDB or anything like that, just a plain 1909 Philly and a Mint State 66 red in the original holder. Now, those aren't CACs, but you could see $245 to $345. So maybe a CAC sticker adds $50. if you want to compare it that way. Well, this coin sold for $4,813. Now, to try and process that, you say, what in the world? Okay, what is the 67 trade for? Well, that wasn't high enough. I had to go up to the 67 plus CAC. And as you could see, the most recent sale, which happened just a month ago, was $4,600. This sold for more than the highest price 67 plus CAC sold for. Now, a couple things that tells me the market is extremely hot right now. I'm sure the stimulus money helped, but the market in general is hot with or without the stimulus money. So prices are trending higher week over week, month over month. But this was particularly strong. Now, when I went through and I was looking at the CoinFacts pictures, this probably could get into a 67 plus holder, and on the right day with the right grader. It certainly is a 67, without a doubt. But a 67 was about $1,000 to $1,500, and this ended up selling, obviously, as you can see, for the 67 plus price. But the last point I really kind of got frustrated with is how did CAC only give this a standard green bean and not a gold CAC sticker? I mean, I feel like they clearly failed, and the market overlooked it. They bid it up 1.5 points on the grading scale. So really intriguing sale here. Auction 3. In terms of coin, this is very basic. A Mint State 66, of course, the popular steel cent. But you start to look at the coin, you notice this is an intriguing coin. But PCGS value is $45. There's a ton of these around. I mean, it's not difficult to find a Mint State 66 steel cent. They're really beautiful, even without what you perceive as pretty nice toning here. So I recommend anyone on a budget pick up a steel cent in a high grade, because for the most part, you can buy these for $45 to $50. But this one is special. And the reason is, you look at that toning. That is very nice toning. And this is one thing I've learned in trying to buy and collect toned coins is some series, for example, Roosevelt dimes, silver Roosevelt dimes, are very common in toned, or very commonly toned, I guess is a better way to say it. Now, of course, you get super toners that are rare, but then you have other series, maybe like the Standing Liberty quarters, that are pretty rare in nice toning. But then you get to the steel cents, and this is the first time I have ever seen a toned steel cent. So right away, even though the grade on the holder says Mint State 66, it does not define the true rarity of this beautiful coin. It's just absolutely stunning. Of course, because it's in a PCGS holder, they call it original toning. I don't know how you could recreate this otherwise. I don't even know what conditions this had to be in to get that kind of toning. But this coin ended up selling for $1,350, which is 30x the PCGS value. It just shows you the strength of the toning market. And then auction number 4. This one came up on my filter, and I was like, what in the world? That doesn't make sense. A standard proof state quarter. And I'm thinking, okay, what is this worth? 25, 30 bucks. And then I look at my PCGS value of $1,000. And I admit I don't collect these. And obviously this is the first year of the state quarter series, 1999. But 563 in the population. I mean, yes, it's top pop. Obviously, it's proof 70. But $1,000 seems kind of outrageous. And I say, okay, maybe that's a typo on PCGS part. And I look at it, and nope, those sell for $450 to $550 fairly regularly. As you can see, sales as recently as in November 20. So obviously, this coin is probably one of the more rare ones in the series. But to tell you the strength of the market, I mean, you're essentially buying a commodity when you're buying a proof 70 deep cam. There's no toning. There's nothing special about it. This coin sold for $760, which is up 56%. So state quarters are even going up in this market that we're in right now. It just tells you it's broad strength. Really incredible. Auction number 5. Now this, in my opinion, is a gem for the budget collector. People who don't want to spend over $500 but want to get a really nice toner. I know the war nickel series extremely well. This is one of my specialty areas. This is a very nicely toned coin. It's definitely original. As you could see, I mean, kudos to NGC for putting the reverse face forward in the slab as they should, because you look at the obverse, it's very basic. This is definitely a correctly graded coin as a mint state 65. When you look at the obverse, it's lacking a bit of the blazing luster. It's got some hits and some marks that bring it down. And you think about what is a mint state 65? Well, the value is 22 to 26 bucks. Even as you could see, a toned version, which that was actually a pretty nicely toned one back in July 2020, sold for 42, which was twice the PCGS value. You're thinking, okay, maybe this is a $80, $90 coin. Well, it sold for $371, and that's 16x the PCGS value. So, I mean, it is nice toning. And I would say this is fairly unique in terms of the vibrancy of those kind of neon-like colors. But I was surprised to see this go for $371 in a very basic grade of mint state 65, not even full step. And sticking with the theme of the Jefferson nickels, oh man, this is the tale of two outcomes. Both of these coins sold in calendar year 2020. As you could see earlier in 2020, February, the one on the left, the 39D, both of these are somewhat key dates in very high grades. Sold for $3,065. The one on the right at Heritage sold for $4,080. And okay, the market's hot, but not all series, not all coins participate. Well, both of these coins sold yesterday or last night, and man, were the outcomes very different for the original buyers who tried to flip these coins. As you can see, the one on the left, it lost 53% of its value, and the one on the right gained 61%. So, youch for the guy on the left. I've bought and sold some of these 39D reverse 38s, and that market has fallen apart, honestly. It's kind of surprising. It seems like they didn't exist. They were hard to find. They rarely came up for auction until middle of 2020. And then for whatever reason, market got flooded with them. And that just means we've had maybe 10 auctions in the last 9 months on a fairly key date at a high grade. So obviously the market couldn't absorb that. I think the Jefferson Nickel series overall has not been as strong as some of the other series, especially on the non-toned coins. But the one on the right's proven me wrong. 39S reverse 38, that is a tough coin. That's a very tough year in mint mark, and the reverse of 38 is even tougher to find. So that was an impressive outcome, up 50 or 61%. And then the last auction, and this is rare, not because the toning is extremely unique. I mean, I don't even know how it gets to that look. What, if you know in the comments below, let me know, how could a coin tone like that? That is really intriguing. It almost looked like it was in a fire or something. But the white spots are not pleasing to me. It's a very unique toner, but as a PCGS price guide, $260 and sold on eBay for $605. But why this is interesting, this sold, as you can see, yesterday. Well, somebody had bought this just about 4 weeks ago on Great Collections for $590, this exact coin, and flipped it to eBay with a starting bid of 99 cents. Now, it's extremely common for me to see people buy Great Collections and then almost immediately will list it on eBay at some kind of desired profit target as a buy it now. That's extremely common. But to buy it on Great Collections and flip it to eBay at a 99-cent starting auction was very interesting. And the outcome for them, as you can see, the eBay sale ended up at $605. They paid $590. Well, appearance is a $15 gain, but really when you net out the eBay fee, they lost $64. So interesting outcome. That's an uncommon occurrence. So that's all I have for this week. I appreciate you watching. Take care.